I never really understood the hobby of collecting. That is until a couple years ago, I started a collection of my own. I was kind of interested in very specific amiibos, and I decided, you know what, I want to try a collection of all these type of amiibos just to see how far I can get and how interesting or challenging it could be. And today, I finally feel like I finished it all, and I want to showcase you my very first collection. Starting off, we have this Joker amiibo. Now, I actually had another version of a Joker amiibo a long time ago, and it was in a protective case when I bought it off of eBay, along with another amiibo in a bundle, but I gave the Joker that was in a case over to a friend who was going on a mission as a parting gift. This was because he really liked Persona 5 during our time together, and not only was he a fan of Persona 5 but also Super Smash Bros, so I felt like it was a good combination to kind of give him this specific gift. Luckily though, Joker eventually got re-released in stores, and I'm very glad I was able to get another version of him right on time, because I'm pretty sure back then when they weren't remaking amiibos, Joker was kind of the rarest amiibo to get, at least through like the more modern amiibos that were coming out. So again, I'm very glad he came back, and personally for the design wise of the amiibo, I actually really like it, especially with like the cool flames that are coming out on the figure. And overall, I say this is a pretty good start to my collection. Now, I did say I got Joker in a bundle with another character, and that character is Hero, which is the main protagonist of Dragon Quest XI. Now, there's really nothing more, honestly, that I can say about this amiibo other than the fact that this was the second one that I got with Joker, and it's kind of proof that, you know, I had a protective case back then. And I'm kind of glad that I got these two in a protective case, because in a little bit, you'll see that some of the further amiibos that I have a bit of wear and tear, so I'm kind of glad I was able to at least get some amiibos safe and sound. But beyond that, honestly, I don't really have an opinion on Hero, mainly because, you know, I don't really play Dragon Quest. But for Super Smash Bros, I kind of like the funny fact that he was kind of a banned character for some competitive matches because of his RNG ability in the game, where you can kind of like randomize what sets you're gonna have for his attacks. Not you make it, but the game randomize it in general. So it's kind of an interesting like controversy that happened during that time. But beyond that, that's really all I have to say for Hero. And during the early times of my collectathon, a lot of these amiibos that I were going for was pretty rare to get, so the only ways I can actually get them properly was through a bundle or a lot through eBay. And not only did this apply with Hero and Joker, but this also applied with my next set that I'm going to show all in one go, which is Banjo, Terry, and Byleth. Now, like Joker and Hero, I got these in a bundle, but unfortunately, they don't have a protective case, and you can kind of see a bit of wear and tear on these three amiibos, but overall, I don't mind. They still look pretty good condition, so it's no big deal. And I'll be honest, I think some of the amiibos here are you can actually like get right now on like official Nintendo websites or even like, you know, modern retail stores, because they have been remaking a lot of them. So that's actually pretty good, but you know, back then I still had to kind of scour the internet to get these amiibos. And honestly, I've been trying my best to keep all of them in boxes, you know, just kind of have that cool collection. But if you guys think I should open these, let me know in the comments down below. Now, as for design and character wise, I don't really have that much to say about these three, mainly because they're kind of basic in my opinion. You know, they're just characters standing or doing some cool pose, and nothing really stands out. And for character wise, I don't really know much about Banjo and Terry other than their legacy back in the old days. And Byleth is kind of the only character I can really talk about, as I am a kind of big fan of Fire Emblem Three Houses. So I'm kind of glad that he's in the game. And actually, I think the reason that he was in the game was the reason I played Three Houses. So I will give a cool shout out or something to that ability. And apparently I love Byleth so much that I somehow have another copy of him. I'll be honest, I actually do not remember at all how I got the second amiibo. The only thing I do remember is that I'm pretty sure I got it before I got the bundle with the three. And I'm pretty sure I only got the three because there was like no other way to get them like individually without spending a higher amount. So I kind of just had to like, you know, say F it and you know, buy kind of like essentially get two Byleths. And honestly, I think I might just open one of them because there's like no reason why I need to keep both of them in the box. You know, I think it would be cool to have at least one of them out, whether or not I decide to open all the rest as well. Now, in case if you couldn't tell, my main goal for this collection was to collect every DLC / Fighter Pass character in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. The reason why I chose to do that was simply because I believed that because the DLC characters were pretty new, the amiibos were most likely going to come out pretty recently / not going to be that much whenever they go on the third-party market. And I was kind of right and wrong, as buying some of the older amiibos that I couldn't get were not that expensive compared to the older amiibos, but nonetheless I still kind of struggled from time to time trying to get them at a fair price, mainly because for some of the characters they were actually either pretty popular that they sold out immediately, or pretty underpopular that they still sold out immediately because the stock wasn't, big enough. But at the very least, I was actually able to get like 1 or 2 amiibos off the counter. So I still think overall it was a good idea to go for this very specific collection. So now we move on to the Fighters Pass 2 characters, starting off with Sephiroth. And I know you're thinking that I should probably start with like Min Min or something, but I actually wanted to showcase my collection in the order that I actually got every character. And unironically, I got the first DLC characters in order unironically. So I felt like that was kind of funny, but from here on out, I am going to focus more on the order I got the characters rather than the general release date of each character. Back to Sephiroth, I got him from GameStop, and he was one of the few characters that I got off the counter, and I bought, outright with actual normal money without having to spend too much on a third-party website like eBay. And I swear that when I bought Sephiroth, I saw I got another amiibo with it, but apparently I didn't. Like literally, I have a footage where I was actually making this video a long time ago, but I scrapped it for various reasons. And in this footage, I literally panicked when I realized I didn't have another amiibo that I thought I did. But back to the amiibo. It's actually pretty good. I really like Sephiroth, and honestly, I'm kind of scared though that his sword is like touching the package, like it is touching the outer edge, and I'm kind of worried as like breaking the sword or something. Hopefully it's not, and it's just doing it for the sake of doing it. But overall, it's still a really good amiibo, and Sephiroth is a very good character. I don't even play Final Fantasy, and I love him. I mean, I do play Kingdom Hearts, so I guess that still has some bias, but nonetheless, this is still a very great amiibo for a very great character. Up next, we have Minecraft Steve and Alex. And if you think the damage from the other amiibos were not that bad, this is mainly why I was talking about the damages and potentially opening the amiibos. It's literally just this amiibo box that got damaged the most. This simply got damaged mainly because I was moving during a personal time in my life, and I took my amiibos with me, but unfortunately, during those moves, it unfortunately got damaged really badly. So, I'm coming to a point where it's like, should I open it or should I just like keep the box extremely damaged as it is? But nonetheless, I got these two at Target because I'm pretty sure they were a Target exclusive during their first initial release. And overall, they're just really simple amiibo designs. They're literally just standing there doing nothing. And honestly, I've been thinking about this, but like since they're just Minecraft skins and they're like literally have the most simplest pose, I'm thinking like, you think I could probably like slap my own skin onto that? Because that'd be pretty cool, like having a custom amiibo with your skin, and maybe even making a mod in Super Smash Bros. with your own skin. I think that'd be pretty cool, but that's just a thought in my head. But overall, I kind of like that I have that idea with this amiibo, but that's really all I can say about this. But for my next amiibo, I do have a lot of things to say about it, and that is Min Min. Now, the reason why I got her later compared to like the first character was because I think around the time she got delisted or was finally taken out of stock was when I actually started collecting the DLC amiibo, so that was really unfortunate. And I had no clue if she was ever going to come back or not, so I was kind of like worrying about holding off on getting her until I actually had a reason to buy her. And that was because I simply needed to get a gift on Amazon for my mom's birthday. Now, of course, when I bought this Min Min amiibo, it wasn't official at all. It was from like a third-party website that was just, reselling it for more money. But still, I was able to use that amiibo to add on to my mom's gift to get like free shipping on Amazon, because I think free shipping is like $35, and the gift from my mom was like kind of under that amount. So I just had to get something to add on to it, and this was the first thing that came to mind. So I was like, okay, yeah, not only can I get a gift from my mother for her birthday, but I can also, continue to add to this collection. And I'm kind of very glad I did, because after the Steve and Alex amiibo, I actually stopped collecting amiibos for a long time. But it was because of this Min Min amiibo that actually gave me more motivation to actually finish this collection. So honestly, I'm very glad I was able to do that. And overall, the amiibo design is, again, really simple. It's just a character pose. Nothing really stands up besides her arms. That's pretty cool. And honestly, I just gotta say, shout outs to Min Min from Arms for giving me the motivation to continue my collection. Alright, post editing fractured here. Remember earlier when I said I got another amiibo with Sephiroth and I forgot about it and then eventually got him back? Well, apparently this amiibo was very forgettable, that I literally forgot to freaking record like a whole voice line for mentioning this amiibo, and I even forgot to record footage for the character. This amiibo that I completely forgot out of existence actually is Kazuya from Tekken. I'll be honest, I have no clue why I've kept forgetting him, but but I have for a lot of time, and that's probably why I was struggling to kind of like put him in the video. But I just want to make it quickly that this is also part of the Amiibo collection that I got, and he is a DLC character, and I'm so mad at myself for like forgetting it basically. But yeah, so I have Kazuya here. I got him kind of similar to the way I got Min Min, and I think that's really all to it. And like I said back in the Sephiroth part where I thought I had him but I didn't, and I kind of was worrying for a while, but eventually I got him and now we're good. So yeah. Oh my god, I can't believe this. Now, before we get on to the last two amiibos that I have for my collection, I actually want to take a bit of time to show off some amiibos that I have that's not from this collection, but I just have for various reasons. So starting off, we have Shulk and Plague Knight. I got these two from a random game store when I was on a trip with my family, and during this time I was kind of interested in Xenoblade, and of course, my identity that I commonly associate myself for my channel is the Plague Doctor. So of course, because of that, I got both of these two. I feel kind of bad though, because unironically, I have not touched Shovel Knight or Xenoblade Chronicles like at all, but I do have a copy of Xenoblade 1, so I might play it someday. And I played a little bit of Xenoblade on the 3DS, so I kind of know a bit of Shulk, but not too much. But I probably should still play it when I can. But that's not the point. The main point is that I got these two amiibos, and they unfortunately came open box, so there is no chance of having these sealed. And it kind of puts more onto a bit of pressure on whether or not I should open the DLC amiibos, because if I open them, then they're kind of like mixed in with the Shulk and Plague Knight amiibo, so it's like a weird mixture that could appear with opening the DLC boxes. However, a bigger clash that I have is this Donkey Kong Skylander. Now you're probably wondering, hey, this is a Skylander, not an amiibo. Why are you talking about this one? Well, check this out. Look at that. It can turn from a Skylander to an amiibo. That's actually so freaking sick. Honestly, all right, the fact that Skylander and amiibo work so much separately and you have them together for like the price of one, that is honestly really fire. And I know they have one with Bowser too, but I personally just like Donkey Kong a bit more, especially with the Skylander version. So I just got this one at like a random point in time on eBay, and I actually because I got it on eBay, I got this like way after Skylander ended. So I have no clue why I wanted to get this amiibo, because I don't even have Skylanders on any Nintendo console, so literally I can't even use the Skylander version because it's not compatible with any of the other consoles. But overall, the fact that it can be both a Skylander and an amiibo, it's just really cool in my opinion to just have. Now, the last honorable amiibos that I want to mention is Zelda, specifically the Zelda Loftwing amiibo that is commonly used for the remake of Sky Sword or like remaster version of Sky Sword on the Nintendo Switch. And the reason why I got this Zelda amiibo was because she was $5, because for some reason GameStop was selling this amiibo for $5 for a very limited time, and I had a $5 coupon that I got from GameStop, because if you're a pro member, like every month they give you a $5 coupon. So like, why not? I don't really know what else I can get from GameStop that month, so I literally just got this amiibo for like under $1. That's pretty freaking cool. I don't even have the game. I don't even have Skyward Sword on the Switch. I don't even know if I can use it. That's really all I can say about this amiibo. There's really nothing more. Like, I'm not really interested that much in Zelda, but it's kind of funny that I just really got it for $5. So that's pretty cool. Now, while I haven't finished talking about every single amiibo, I do want to mention in advance that there is one amiibo that I don't have, but I'm not counting towards this collection that a lot of people might actually wonder if it does or if I should have it. And that amiibo is Piranha Plant. The main reason why I am kind of considering not adding Piranha Plant is a lot of reasons, but mainly because they were available as a pre-order bonus. So if you pre-order the game, you got Piranha Plant for free. But if you didn't, then it was technically DLC and you had to pay money for it. So it puts in a weird conundrum if I should count it or not, because technically, yes, it is DLC, but also, you know, it was DLC for kind of greedy purposes and, usual purposes of pre-ordering the game. So it's like, I don't know if I should count it or not. And also just for the fact that the only way I can get Piranha Plant is kind of stupid, where essentially either one, I could do the usual and go on eBay or Amazon to like find a third party seller to buy the amiibo for much more money than the usual, or I could buy it from the official Nintendo website for the fair price. However, Nintendo has a shipping fee where, you either pay the shipping fee, which usually costs the same amount that I would pay for the third-party amiibos, or I can get free shipping by spending a total of $50. Now, no offense to Nintendo, but I do not want to spend $50 just to get an amiibo. And if I do have to spend $50, either one, like I can just buy multiple amiibos that I don't want or need, or buy other Nintendo products that, again, I probably don't want or need. So it's like a kind of a pressure thing that's like kind of weird. That's like, giving me kind of a anxious thing on what to do. And because of the fact that like technically I am done, and it's like this weird thing going on. It's like, you know what? I'm just not gonna count it, and I have an excuse or a reason to not count it, so I'm perfectly fine with not adding it. However, I can understand this can be a problem for some people. So if everyone really, really wants it, then eventually I will make an update to this video where I will add it to my collection. So if you want me to add Piranha Plant, let me know in the comments down below. For the last few amiibos that I have, we have Sora. And Sora was one of my most favorite characters to be added into Super Smash Bros. To a point where not only did I get one amiibo, but I got two. I remember when Sora got revealed for Smash Bros, I literally screamed so loud that my parents thought I saw like an intruder or a bug or something, but no, it was just Sora coming to Super Smash Bros, and I was really happy and excited about it. And yeah, he's literally one of my favorite characters, or at least from my favorite franchise of all time. So I'm like honestly so happy that he's in the game. And when his amiibo finally got announced and had a pre-order date, not only did I get one from GameStop, but I got one from Amazon as well. And as you can see from the boxes, you can kind of tell that one is unfortunately more damaged than the other. So kind of like with Byleth, I plan on opening one and honestly even making a video about it. I'm probably doing something with Super Smash Bros. And the amiibo. So if you guys are interested in that, let me know. But personally, like I said, I am so freaking glad he's finally back. And dude, it's I don't know, it's so cool. And what's also cool is my final amiibo that I have for this collection, which is the Pyra and Mythra amiibo. Now, the reason why I have them here for the last section is simply because they were the last amiibos that I needed. And that's simply because they were pretty much sold out for a really long time. And online, they were going for essentially twice the price, around like $60. And while I could tolerate buying an amiibo for like $20 when they're normally like $17, I really couldn't do it for like $60. That was just too much for me. So when I finally heard that they were actually coming back to GameStop, I immediately pre-ordered the amiibos. And when I finally got them at GameStop, it was funny because the guy I was talking to about the amiibos, apparently he forgot that there was actually like a package for them. And for a second, I got kind of worried. I was like, oh, maybe I pre-ordered in the wrong place, or they just didn't have it at all. But no, eventually they did. And I feel like these two, along with Sora, is kind of a good note to end on this collection. And that is the end for now. because I have finished the collection that I wanted for my amiibos, but honestly, I kind of still plan on getting some amiibos in the future. I don't really have like a specific collection or idea in mind. For now, I'm just gonna probably get whatever amiibo looks interesting or looks fun to get. And honestly, one of the ones that I might be getting is one of the Street Fighter 6 amiibos, simply because I just want to see what they would do in Street Fighter 6, you know, for a game that's already been out. And also apparently they're actually pretty freaking big, so I feel like it would be kind of funny to just have them like pretty like huge next to the normal average size amiibo. But overall, I have some questions I would like to ask you guys. If you would like to answer them in the comments down below, that'd be really great. But my questions that I would like a response to is simply, how do you guys rate this collection? Should I open all my amiibos, or at least some of them? Should I buy the Piranha Plant amiibo? And if you guys have any, what amiibos do you have? And this is something I kind of want to do an experiment with, but essentially what I want to do right now, or at least starting from now, is actually taking the time to answer some comments that I have received from my previous videos. As in a way, I feel like it'd be kind of a nice way for me to interact with some of you guys and to kind of like let you guys know that I am extremely grateful for you guys to even leave a comment or to interact with this video in general. So, from the Minecraft Story Mode video, from a comment by XX Sledgehammer XX, around 10 minutes and 28 seconds. Looking back, this game came out in 2015 and Gabriel is most definitely wearing a netherite set with diamond armor trim. Kind of looks like Coast. Now, I actually took the time to genuinely go into Minecraft and experiment with the armor trim. And honestly, I do kind of see it. Of course, it does look off because, you know, the concept of armor trims did not exist when Minecraft Story Mode was out. So, you know, they're not going to like make it look exactly alike, but I do see the vision. And for funsies, I also wanted to try to experiment with what I believe could be the closest for the armor trims. And this is what I came up with. But this is just my personal interpretation. So obviously, you know, we each have our own different opinions, but nonetheless, I do see the vision. I actually do see the vision, and honestly, I do wish that Minecraft would actually like add the exact armor trims. I think that'd be pretty cool. Up next, from Bowblocks Gamer for the win. I saw this, I watched and played through everything. Now, whether they mean the video or the entire game, I'm still very grateful because it is nice to see that this game still has an existence somewhere and that people, you know, still care about this old game from a franchise that is loved by so many people. So, you know, it's nice to see kind of like a cool little iron in the rough, if you know what I mean. And while there's no more comments on this video, I do want to mention a quick shout out or a quick thing that one of my friends, the Frosty Boy / Ethan said, where he mentions to me on Discord. But essentially, the reason that Axel near the end of episode 4 gets like the little fish helmet is because it was actually supposed to represent Magnus. Because in the beginning, where they showcase all 4 of the heroes, Magnus did have a helmet of some kind, and that is supposed to represent what Axel was wearing. And I never realized that, mainly because, you know, Magnus never wore his helmet afterwards. But honestly, because I never realized that, I really gotta give out, like, you know, a huge thank you to my boy Ethan. So thank you so much, man. And if you guys want me to respond to your comments in the next video, then feel free to answer some of the questions that I gave earlier in this video. And as a bonus, if you put this specific emoji in your comment, then it'll definitely tell me that you definitely got this far. And if there's somehow multiple comments in this video, I am more likely to respond to the comments that have this emoji in it. So overall, that's going to be it for the video. I am extremely sorry that I haven't been able to upload any videos for a while. I've just been going through a lot of personal stuff, but I'm kind of glad to be making some videos again. It's been really fun, and I hope you guys are willing to stick around for the next video that'll come out hopefully very soon. So yeah, see you guys later. Love y'all.